on the numbers on your screen. You can also write to us on WhatsApp, and both the numbers, the calling numbers as well as the WhatsApp numbers, are flashing on your screens right now as we speak. Now today I'd like to introduce my guests to you, and on the fundamental front we have Girish Sodani, co-founder at Insure Capital, who will be answering all your fundamental queries, and Aditya Arora, founder and multi-asset research analyst at adelic.in will answer all your technical queries, and he'll be joining us soon. Meanwhile, I would like to actually say good evening to Girish, who's joining us on the fundamental front. Girish, let's start with the first WhatsApp query that we've gotten. This is a query that we've gotten from Shiva from Vijayawada, and he's purchased 50 shares of LIC Housing, as you can see on your screen, and at 695 a piece, and he's asking if he should hold or sell. So I'd like to know your fundamental perspective on this particular counter. Girish, I think you are on mute. Could you please unmute yourself?
I'm so sorry. Good evening. Let's connect on the LIC first. Let's talk about the LIC one. So we are just more bullish on the perspective of how the housing companies are going to be moved out. So just my suggestion is to just wait and watch. And the stop loss, what we are talking about in the fundamental terms, that is 563 rupees. That will be the very strong supports what we are looking out from the fundamental part. And they need to be hold for the next 2 to 3 months. Just we have to just check it out at the range of 640 to 675 rupees. So just wait and hold the positions.
Okay. So it's a hold on LIC from your perspective. We will also hop to our next WhatsApp query written to us from Nambiar. Nambiar has written to us on WhatsApp from Kerala. He holds 300 shares of RBL Bank, and the stock has seen a downward trend in the past 1 year, seeing cuts of over 40%. He's actually struggling to see the right exit price. So what would your suggestion to Nambiar be?
So, Nambiar, basically RBL banks are just moving out slowdowns because of the numbers related to the housings as well as the loan books. And we are already seeing that they're facing a biggest challenge in the next last 3 to 4 quarters itself for the RBL bank. But the books are little bit working, and their margins also improvised from the 3% to 35% currently in the past 3 years, what we are seeing in the RBL bank. So just because it's too in a lower side, so we are not ready to just book the losses at current level. But my suggestion is to just exit some of the positions at the range of 220 to 225 and just wait and watch for the next 3 or 6 months. But it takes time, so you need to hold for the 1.5 year itself for the RBL bank.
Okay, so it's a hold on RBL Bank. On that note, we have Aditya Arora. As I introduced him earlier, he is the founder and multi-asset research analyst at adelic.in. Good evening, Aditya. You will be answering all our technical queries for the day, and welcome to the show. We were actually talking about RBL Bank, so I'd like to know your view on RBL Bank. How does it look on the charts?
Thank you. Very good evening to you and to all our viewers. So we have seen markets are very volatile recently, and RBL Bank has been an underperformer since a while. It's in fact trading around its 52-week low. So that inherently shows the weakness in the stock. If the horizon is short term, then I would wait for a breakout above 180 odd levels, 180, 182. Once the stock breaks this resistance, then we can see a dash towards 185 to 190. But right now the stock is consolidating with downward bias, so I maintain a little neutral to bearish bias until and unless there is a breakout.
Yeah. So it's a hold from your end on RBL Bank, is it?
I would suggest a sell on rise candidate.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Understood. On that note, we have our first caller joining us for this evening from Hyderabad. Hi, Deepak. Good evening. Please go ahead with your question.
Hi, madam. Actually, my query is regarding this stock named Cochin Shipyard.
Okay.
So 4 months back, I bought it at a price at 2538.
Okay.
And the number of stocks which I bought is almost 900 stocks.
900 stocks in Cochin Shipyard. So why did you particularly invest in Cochin Shipyard?
At that time, the insights like the fundamentals and technicals which I reviewed, at that time I thought it will be bullish. So later I invested a small amount. After that it went down, so I thought it to do it average the stocks. So as of now, my query is like, what will be the suggestion from your side? Like, is it better to hold these many stocks at Cochin Shipyard, or to sell it off and invest the capital in other stocks?
Understood.
So this is the query to that.
Understood. So Girish, you heard our viewer, Deepak. He holds 900 shares of Cochin Shipyard at 2,538 apiece, and as I can see, the stock has pretty much given away its price since the time of July. In the month of July, it was on a high, and after that, it has just been on a drop. So, what would your suggestion be to this viewer?
As we already saw that a little bit recover in the last 1.5 month itself, that the stock is recovered from its low. It's around 25%. So my suggestion, because the excellent order books, and they are working on their marginal profits also, net profit margin, they are just improvising in the very strongly level. Before that, they are just working on the 19% right now they are working on the 7.86%. So excellent order books they are giving out, and what we are expecting, that the export oriented order books are also increasing. So just my suggestion is to just average from current level. We can say that the average can be done in the 1490 to 1600 of the range, and just hold their positions with the stop losses 1350, and just remain for the 1.5 year time frame. We can see the strong upsides in the defense as well as the shipping companies.
Okay, understood. So it's a hold on Cochin Shipyard as of now. And on that note, we have our next caller joining in, called Mystique. If I'm pronouncing that right, he is calling us from Chennai. Good evening, Mystique. Please go ahead with your question. Am I pronouncing your name right? Okay, there seems to be some audio issue. So Mystique, I'm assuming this is his name. He has bought 3,000 shares of Samvardhana Motherson at 167 apiece, and he's asking if he should hold or sell. Aditya, let me come to you for this one. What is your perspective on this particular stock, and how does it look on the charts?
Absolutely. So basically, auto counters are experiencing good amount of pressure at higher levels. Rightly so, because you're also hearing the news that there's a lot of inventory pile up for automakers and even auto ancillaries. Margin pressures, there's some margin pressure, and I think technically also a lot of stocks are experiencing selling at higher levels. So with a blend of negative techno and funda view, I think all the auto companies and auto ancillary companies could experience selling at the higher levels. So the view remains sell on rise. But the good thing is that he can accumulate the stock at much lower levels. So right now it's a sell candidate, but at lower levels, he may get the stock at lower levels. So right now I'm not in buying opinion, but I'm in the sell camp.
Okay, so it's a sell on Samvardhana from our technical expert. And on that note, we will go to our next query called Vishwal from, okay, the place is not mentioned, but okay, Vishwal is joining us on KPI Green. Hi Vishwal, please go ahead with your question.
Ma'am, KPI Green Energy stock of 513, average price 900.
Okay.
Short term or long term sell or hold, madam?
Sir, can I ask you, why did you purchase KPI Green Energy?
Yes, ma'am.
So why? What was your reason behind purchasing KPI Green Energy shares?
Short term, ma'am.
Okay, understood. So, Aditya, let's talk about KPI Green Energy. This is a space that is heavily being bet upon because of the government's focus on green fuel and green energy. Do you think this is a good stock to remain invested in?
Look, actually, this green energy theme has been in limelight since a long time, and we have seen even Suzlon inching higher on the same news, and a lot of energy stocks doing so. And the stock has also priced in a lot of growth. From May 2023, the stock has shot up from 185 to 1,100. So all the good news is already baked in the price, but now technicals are starting to deteriorate after consolidating for many weeks. The stock is now breaking down. So I don't think he should wait for a long time because the trend is turning down. Even the index is going down these days. So there's selling pressure across the board. So it's a sell on rise candidate, but the good news is that he could get the stock at lower levels like 650, 600 odd levels. So right now my view remains sell on rise.
Okay, so it's a sell on rise on KPI Green. On that note, we will go to our next query on WhatsApp. We have Raghuram, who's written to us on WhatsApp all the way from Bhubaneswar. He holds 100 shares of Zen Technology at 1,700 apiece. He hints at the fact that he has bought these shares in the later half of September. The stock has moved upwards since then, but let's go across to our funda guest, who is Girish. Girish, what is your view on this particular counter?
As we saw that the tech companies are already giving a very excellent returns because the dollars as well as the US economic recoveries as well as the other market expansions. But we are just more focused on the right now profit booking in the tech companies too, because the market is going to be stabilized and they are giving the excellent returns. So currently I'm looking out for the partial profit booking and just hold their portfolio, hold their positions with the stop loss of 2100 and just remain the partial positions in a hold.
Okay, so it's a hold on Zen Technologies, is it?
Yeah, basically you can book the partial profit from here.
Okay, understood. On that note, viewers, keep your calls coming in. We're trying and connecting to all your calls and answering all your queries. Our guests are here to answer all your queries. So keep your calls coming in, and you can also write to us on WhatsApp. Both the numbers of the calling numbers and the WhatsApp numbers are available on your screen as we speak. And on that note, let's hop to our next query on WhatsApp. Shivaram has written to us all the way from Ernakulam in Kerala. He holds 66 shares of Kama Holdings at 2,860 a piece, and he's asking if he should hold or sell the stock. The stock has been pretty flat for the past 1 week with no dramatic returns seen even in the last 6 months or so. So, Aditya, let's come to you on Kama Holdings. How does the stock look on the charts?
Right. The stock hasn't done much since last many weeks actually. Even when we saw markets going up, this stock was sliding from 3,100 to 2,500. So there isn't a breakout, and the stock has a nature to consolidate for a very long time. If I talk about the time duration for the time it's been consolidating, it's consolidating. So it's consolidating from October 2023. So this has its nature of being stagnant and being stuck in a range until unless we don't see a breakout above 3,100. I expect this stock to consolidate in a tight range. So right now there isn't a breakout. Technically, isn't a breakdown. It's stuck in a range.
Okay, so is it a hold or a sell on Kama Holdings from your end?
I would say he can exit this counter and enter again when there's a breakout about 3,100.
Understood. So it's a sell. Okay. On that note, we will move on to our next caller called Zenith. He is joining us from Bangalore. Good evening, Zenith. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, hi. I have a quick one. I am currently holding Motilal Oswal Financial Services. I have bought 100 shares at the rate of 969 rupees 69 paise. And I would like to know its short-term as well as long-term perspective. And can I accumulate once it's fall down, or what is the right time to accumulate or hold on?
Okay, sir.
And I have, sure, please go ahead.
Okay, Zenith, I understood your question, but I'd also like to understand what attracted you to Motilal Oswal Financial Services?
Well, first thing first, the management is astonishing. Ramdev sir and everybody else, they are really, I feel that integrity, they are very passionate. So as an AMC, I like it. I have a couple of mutual funds from them as well, which has been given me tremendous growth. As far as this stock is concerned, I think wealth management is the current theme, logically. And when I see specifically for this, I see the ROE is tremendous, 30 plus. And book value is equally decent. It's a mid cap. So everything falls into place. And its P ratio is also very, affordable,
Understood.
not overvalued. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So, Girish, you heard our viewer, he's invested in Motilal Oswal Financial Services, and he's also mentioned about the ROE, which is, he's right, it's about 32.6%. So, what is your take on this particular financial firm?
So completely, on a hold basis, that we are also still bullish on the Motilal Oswal financials. Currently, as we saw that they are giving a very excellent returns in their mutual fund, as well as their inflows are very strongly moving on. 1,000 crore inflow in the November in the only the eight equity mutual funds itself, and more focus on the overall commercials, how the companies are going in the their financial sector as well as the AMC, both of the markets. So just remain hold on their positions. As well as my suggestion is that if they are getting a chance for the 870 or 860 level also, just at their averaging from here itself, they are just more bullish on the for the 1.5 years. We can get a very good upsides at the level of 2000 plus 2.
Okay, so I was just about to ask you, because you recommended a hold on this Motilal Oswal. Would it be a good idea to also add a couple of shares, which you answered? So on that note, I'll go to our next query, a WhatsApp query coming in from, we have a caller joining us called Vishal, all the way from Bangalore again. Good evening, Vishal. Please go ahead with your question.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I have IndusInd Bank, 500 shares bought for 1,275 rupees, right? Sometime in May 2023. I see the stock going all the way around 1,600, and now it's somewhere around 960, right? So I would like to know, what are its long-term perspectives? Should I hold? Should I add more and average out the stock? Or if you want me to hold, how long? If not, what is the alternative to this?
Understood. Sir, but before I pose this question to our guest, I'd like to ask you, what attracted your investment towards IndusInd Bank?
Sorry, madam.
Why did you, in simple words, why did you invest in IndusInd Bank?
Yeah, so the time when I invested in May 2023, right, I actually looked at its quarterly results, right, and basically based on the return on equity and the debt portion, and I also looked at the non-performing assets, right, so they were better, right, so I think that gave me the value proposition, and from there, I thought it's good, and I think the share did well, right, it almost went about 25%. But from recent past, I have not been watching it. So I just saw that recently, and I saw that it's just around 1,020 and still going down.
Okay, got that. So Aditya, let's take this question to you. You heard our viewer; he's invested in IndusInd Bank, but I'm afraid the September quarter results haven't been that well. The financing margin plus profit are in negative zones. And the company has a low interest coverage ratio as well. Plus, the promoter holding in the company seems to be just around 15.8%. What is your perspective? How does it look on the charts?
Exactly. You summed it up right, with all the financials deteriorating, and even charts are pointing out the same picture. This in last 3 months itself, the stock has shaved off 33% of its gains. So and it has also given a breakdown. So I think the stock's outlook is pretty bearish in the near term, and we already hear the news that a lot of banks are facing the crisis of less cash flow in their assets. So that will create the problem, and we have seen it recently in its quarterly earnings that there is some stress, and charts are also suggesting a breakdown. So I would suggest that he may get out of the stock. The good thing is that he may get the stock at lower levels, but right now it's a sell candidate.
Okay, understood. On that note, we have our next caller joining in called Mustaq from Chennai. Good evening, Mustaq. Please go ahead with your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your question, Mustaq.
I have South Indian Bank 20,000 shares, ma'am.
Okay.
I have 25.7 average price. I suggest to hold sale, ma'am.
Okay, and Mustaq, why did you invest in South Indian Bank?
Like penny stocks.
Okay, that's it? Just because the stock price was cheap?
Yeah.
Okay, Mustaq, I suggest you also read and research about the stock before you invest in, and I will definitely take this question to our fundamental expert, Girish. Girish, what is your perspective on South Indian Bank? The one-year chart looks pretty choppy and has been trading with a downward bias. Do you suggest Mustaq to hold on to his 20,000 shares, to add or to sell?
Uh, he gave the reasons that he just invested in because of the penny stock. But anyways, what we are suggesting right now in the South Indian Bank, because many research houses already given a good ratings for the South Indian banks, including the DOJ itself, and because of their just improving their net profit margins itself, and how the banks are going to be in a very good format, that the branches are still working on the very good conditions and not in the cash constraints too. So just hold it down with their portfolios and just maintain because it's a very low move volumes based stocks. So just put their own stop loss at the level of 21.20. At that is a fundamental stop loss what we are thinking right now at current positions, and just hold the positions. Once it's below the 21, just square off all the positions on the without asking any notes.
Okay, got that. And on that note, we have Kantesh, who's joining us all the way from Karnataka. Good evening, Kantesh. Please go ahead with your question.
Hello, ma'am. I have IDFC shares of IDFC shares, First Bank shares.
Okay.
At the rate of 74.
Okay.
300 shares is there, madam. Can I hold or sell? Can I buy Canara Bank or SBI? Recommend me for a long term, madam. 10 years to control.
Okay, Kantesh. I'd also like to ask you, when did you invest in IDFC First Bank?
1 year back, madam.
1 year back. And did someone ask you to invest, or did you read a news about it? Why did you invest in IDFC First?
Madam, some of the news I have seen YouTube and invested, madam. That's why I have taken a wrong decision, madam.
Okay, Kantesh. Thank you for calling us. I'll take this question to Aditya. Aditya, what is your take on IDFC First Bank? It is almost every single day that one or the other viewer talks about this particular stock. There's a lot of market interest. Please tell Kantesh, what should he do?
I think the stock's long-term outlook is good. Like if we talk of extremely long-term, like 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, then I'm bullish on the stock. But recently, as Bank Nifty is breaking down and experiencing little pressure, I think that could have some influence on this stock. So near-term outlook is a little bearish. But if we talk about 3 to 5 years, then I'm bullish on this stock.
Got that. And Ramanathan, in fact, had called us, but unfortunately we lost his phone line, but he'll take up his query. He called us all the way from Chennai, and he has 3,000 shares of Electrosteel Casting at 193 apiece, and he's asking for a long-term perspective. Girish, I'll come to you for Electrosteel Casting. The current price is much below his buying price. What is your perspective? How does it look fundamentally?
No, fundamentally, we not looks very, very positive in a process of revenue as well as the net profit margins. They are just revising their margins as well as the high cash just businesses going on in the electric cast business. So my suggestion is to just exit their positions and just enter into the strong fundamental stock.
Okay, and because you mentioned to invest in a strong fundamental stock, could you suggest a couple of names?
You can invest in the Hindustan Zinc itself because currently they are standing in a strong valuations itself, as well as the strong points for the next 1.5 year itself. So just more announcements we are expecting into the Hindustan Zincs.
Okay, got it. Viewers, keep your calls coming in. We're here to take all your queries. And on that note, we will hop to our next query from WhatsApp. Joshi has written to us all the way from Kochi. He holds 1,000 shares of HFCL at 167.52 a piece. He's asking whether to hold or to sell the stock. And he's also asking if there are any chances of the stock performing well in the next 3 months. Aditya, let's go to you for this one. What is your perspective on this particular stock? How does it look on the charts? We're talking about HFCL.
Right. So I'm constructive. I'm constructive on this space, but recently I'm constructive on the sector. But recently the stock is breaking down. So if its support of 115 is broken, then I think there's more downside till levels like 105 to 95. So that is the level he must follow, 115. If it goes below that, then the trend turns downward.
So are you suggesting that if the stock price slips below 115, then he should sell the counter?
Correct.
Understood. Okay. We will take the next WhatsApp query written to us from Chandan. He hails from Mysore and he's bought 25 shares of Vindhya Telelinks at 2,200 a piece. The stock is currently trading at around 2,040 a piece and he's asking for a long-term target and a stop loss also if possible. So I'll come to both of you for this one, gentlemen. First, starting with Girish, what is your perspective on this stock and how does it look fundamentally?
Fundamentally, the stocks looks good, but they are just because again the net margins are little bit revisations. Telelinks already into the little cash and cheese business, and how the infra is not going to be very strongly expanded. That what where the government is going to be committed in the last 2 years itself. So because of this particular reasons, we are not very much bullish on the Vindhya Telelinks. But if they are holding for the next 2 to 3 years, just put in the mark that just holding the stop loss of 1,800 rupees and just hold the positions for the next upside. But again, it would be the completely a long-term basis itself. Don't go with the short-term positions.
Okay. And Aditya, what about you? What is your perspective on this stock?
Look, stock is still trading at levels of which we saw last in September 2023. So the stock doesn't have a lot of growth, technically also and fundamentally also. So I would qualify this as a little weak stock. So no point in being very bullish on this, aggressive on this, because there's a breakdown also seen over here. So I maintain little neutral to bearish stance on this, and he could better get the stock at lower levels. The strong support for this counter is at 1,500 odd levels. So right now it's a sell candidate. At 1,500, he can revisit this and reanalyze if he wants to study the stock.
Okay, thank you for that. And with that, we'll have to slip into a short break, but keep sending in your queries on WhatsApp and call in. We'll be right back for Ask Profit. Stay tuned to NDTV Profit.
We set you up for the day's trade. 30 calls before the markets open on NDTV Profit.
Jubilant Food above a 600 level on Friday.
Wipro can be first trade to buy
all commodities, but in that Vedanta looks good.
Our experts give you the top stock ideas to prepare you for the day.
ICICI Lombard stocks hit the first target. It has given a very good momentum with good volume.
Don't miss the chance to make the right moves. Only on NDTV Profit, where winners are made before the bell rings.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals,
Welcome back to Ask Profit, only on NDTV Profit. This is a show where you ask your stock-related queries and we try and answer them through our guests, which brings me to the fact that I should introduce them once again. And on the fundamental front, we have Girish Sodani, co-founder at Insure Capital. And for all your technical-related queries, we have Aditya Arora, founder and multi-asset research analyst at Analytic.in. Now, welcome, gentlemen. Without any further ado, let's go to Kamal. He has called us all the way from Indore. Good evening, Kamal. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, hi, good evening. So my question is regarding Fineotex Chemical.
Okay.
So I have around 80 shares and I have outlook of around 6 to 8 months. So I bought at level of 340. But I would like to add more quantity, around 200. So can I add more quantity?
Okay. So, I'd like to know, because you have asked if you should add more stocks of this counter to your portfolio, why are you interested in Fineotex Chemicals?
So Fineotex Chemical, actually this textile, they manufacture textile chemicals and cleaning agents also. And this is micro cap, so I think it's chances of growing more other than the peer groups. So that's why I bought this way.
Okay, understood. Aditya?
And past performance is also very good, so that's why.
Okay. Okay. Understood, Kamal. Aditya, let's take this question to you. You heard our viewer, he's invested in Fineotex Chemicals, but the P ratio of this particular stock looks weak as compared to its peers, and also the promoter holding has decreased over the last quarter by almost 2%. Do you suggest that he should add more quantities of this stock to his portfolio?
Look, I'm constructive on chemical space. But if we analyze it technically, then I would suggest buying it on strength rather than weakness, because in the short run, the stock is breaking down below its support level. The stock support was placed at 360 odd level. It has broken its support and now trading at 340. So there's scope for further weakness, and stock could touch its lower levels like 300 and 250 odd levels in the medium term. So I'm a little bearish in the short term, and if he really wants to add, then wait for the stock to break above its important resistance level of 460. If the stock stays above 460, then there's a scope for the stock to rally towards 500 odd levels. So hence, technically the stock looks weak. I wouldn't suggest to add now. Wait for the stock above 460 to add, or wait for it to come at support, which is placed at 300 and 250.
It is a hold on Fineotex Chemicals, and our viewers should wait for perhaps an attractive buy price to add more stocks. And on that note, we will go to Kumar, who is calling us from Bangalore. Hi Kumar, good evening. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, good evening. My question is about GE Shipping, that is Great Eastern Shipping. I bought it long back, so my price was around 120. I have 4,600 shares. I'm doing it mainly on a dividend play, but I'm not sure if they will continue to give dividends because the shipping industry is in a turmoil.
Okay, understood. So, when exactly did you invest in GE Shipping?
I invested many years ago because, over a period of time, I've been buying little shares, but my average price is around 120. I bought it when GE Shipping was 20 rupees a share. From that, I've been adding on.
Okay, okay. And when was the last buy? When did you buy your last?
More than 10 years ago.
More than 10 years ago. Okay. So, Girish, I'll come to you for this one. Our viewer has invested in Great Eastern Shipping Company and at an attractive price at 120, pretty cheap. The current price of the stock is around 1,030 rupees. He's asking if we should hold or sell.
First of all, the congratulations to the investor which invested in such a very attractive price. So let's talk about the company now. So they are just more focusing on the reducing their debt, as well as the company are delivering a very excellent good profits, as well as a 194 CAGR in last 5 years itself. And the healthy dividend payouts, obviously we already know that it's a very good dividend based company. So currently we are not suggesting to just exit their positions. I'm just more focusing on the further upsides of the levels of around 1300 to 1350 level itself. So just wait and watch and hold their portfolios in the stocks.
Okay, got that. We had a caller called Bhatkan who had joined us from Kerala, but unfortunately we lost his phone line. But I'll take up his question. He holds 1,000 shares of Punjab National Bank at 119 apiece, and he's asking for a long-term view. So, Girish, back to you on this. What is your perspective on Punjab National Bank? How does it look fundamentally?
So fundamentally, the Bank is basically improvisations on their net profit margin itself. We are just more for looking out with a range of 70 to 75 rupees till 103 now. So more focus on to just hold their positions for the longer terms. Because if we just improvise in the net profit margin as well as the branch and networks in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities itself, they are just going out upsides for the next 170 or 175 rupees also. But they just need to give it a time of 1.5 year itself. So just hold your positions.
Okay. And Aditya, quickly, what is your view on Punjab National Bank? How does it look technically?
Technically, Punjab National Bank looks good over the long run. But right now, as I said, Bank Nifty is breaking down. There's some stress over there. And internationally also, S&P 500, which is an index for financials, is trading at very high P multiples. So if any correction starts over there in S&P 500, that negative sentiment will trickle down to Bank Nifty as well. And Punjab National Bank would be influenced by that. So hence, in the short to medium term, I expect there could be some correction in this counter. A right price or a better risk reward is available at 80 to 70 levels. Over there, the risk reward would be much favorable. Right now, I'm not very constructive given that internationally financials are trading at very high P multiple, and I expect some correction to start over there.
Okay, so you're just for clarity, are you bearish on Bank Nifty and the stocks that fall in this particular basket overall from the short term to medium term, or is there any other stock that you find more attractive than PNB?
Correct. I remain a little bearish on financials banking name, given that fundamentally there's less cash available with the banks. Small businesses are being hurt by less liquidity in the market, and internationally financials are trading at very high P multiple. So with this blend, the outlook looks little bleak for banking names. Hence, I'm bearish on the complete basket.
Got that. Let's go to our next caller, Girish. Again, we also have our guest, fundamental guest is Girish, and now we have a guest called Girish. Great. Good evening, Girish. Please go ahead with your question. You're joining us from Ujjain, I suppose.
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead with your question.
Ma'am, Tech Solution, 3,000 shares. I bought for around 26 rupees as 26 rupees. What long term can it be?
So 3,000 shares of which company again?
Tech Solutions.
Tech Solutions. Okay. And
yes,
why did you invest in this particular stock?
Because उसने दो एक्विजिशन करे थे, बट उसके बाद उसका नहीं पता. मैम सॉरी.
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. बट आप कब इन्वेस्ट किए थे इसमें? एटलीस्ट ये तो पूछ सकती हूँ. आपने कब इन्वेस्ट किया था? ये 3,000 शेयर
करा था.
अच्छा.
बट जब वो 180 से नीचे गिरा था, जब से एवरेजिंग ही चल रहा है उसका.
हाँ, ठीक है.
180 प्राइस से उनके.
Understood.
Average price 26 रुपए something है.
Understood. So, Girish, we'll take this question to you. You heard our viewer, he's invested in Tech Solutions. And as he said, the stock has been averaging pretty much, especially since the last 1 year. What would your suggestion to this viewer be?
I'm a little bit negative into this particular stocks, but because of the results, they are just giving a very poor results in the sales growth as well as the net profit margins too. And the companies are highly interest ratios. So I'm more negative into the perspective of fundamental terms. So just liquidate this stocks. I don't think so that it would be valuable stocks for the carrying for the 1.5 year itself also.
Okay, so it's a sell on that note. And Aditya, quickly, what's your take on Tech Solutions? How does it look on the charts?
If we analyze this technically, then in last 3 months, this stock has fallen almost 30%. Whereas even if we analyze in 1 year basis, then from highs of 35, the stock has fallen to 16. So technically, it's very weak. You should save your capital because soon this stock could break its 52-week low also, multi-week low also, multi-month low also, which is placed at 13 to 14 odd levels. So long term, if you see, it's falling from almost 200, 300 odd levels. It's just going down. So that suggests a medium term downtrend in this counter. So avoid this counter. Only I would suggest to get in when there's a breakout above 37. Right now the stock is trading at 17. Right now the outlook is very bearish.
So it's the bearish view on this particular counter take solutions from both our experts. And on that note, we will hop to our next WhatsApp query written to us from Shrikant all the way from Bengaluru. He holds a couple of shares of Oil India bought at 477 a piece, and he's asking a long-term outlook. And he's also mentioned that he is in loss because, of course, the current price of the stock is 445, around 445, which is way less than the price at which he bought, and plus the stock has been giving up most of its profits, especially since September 2024. So I'll take this question to Girish. How does Oil India look like to you?
As we are talking about for the longer propositions, obviously it's looked like attractive. But my better range of just entering in this particular stock is that 375 to 400 levels. So if they already hold this stocks, then the better sides to just average their stock at the level of 360 to 375 rupees. As a management change, we already know that the CFOs recently changed it out, as well as they are more expanding into the biogas plants itself and the more energy product lines too. So just bullish on for the next 2.5 years in the oil and marketing companies, as well as not at the current levels. They just hold and wait the position for the 370 to 375 rupees.
Okay, understood. On that note, we will go to our next query written to us from Murthy, written to us from Murthy. He's asking about RattanIndia Power. He is invested in this particular stock at 14.46 a piece. And he's asking if it is a good stock to stay invested in. So, Aditya, let's come to you for this one. What is your take on RattanIndia Power?
Right. So technically, the stock looks good. It has broken out of its multi-year resistance. It's trading above its 2014 highs, which was placed around 14 odd level only. So technically, the stock is improving for the long term. So if he has, and then second thing, this stock is a small cap. So the volatility will be very high if he has a risk appetite of bearing this volatility, and if he has a long term horizon, then this stock can do well in the long run. And if we talk about the short term, then he must follow a level based approach. If the stock will turn bullish above 18 odd levels, from there he can expect a rally up to 20.50 to 22, and stop loss he must place for this would be 14.5. But remember, I'm talking about a rally only above 18 odd levels. Right now, the stock is trading at 13.83. So that's a short term outlook, level based approach. And if he has a long term horizon of holding it, then he must have some risk appetite to hold the small cap.
Understood. Girish, I'll come to you quickly. Very briefly, I'd like to understand, especially given the market situation at the moment, the market has been dropping tremendously for the past 3 days in a row. Do you think, because, Aditya mentioned small cap, RattanIndia Power being a small cap company, is it the right time to stay invested in small cap companies, especially in a market trend like the present time? Is it a good idea?
No, frankly saying, because there's a low volume based stocks, especially when the news are coming out. So these type of stocks are usually working. So if we're talking about the RattanIndia Power itself, so the promoter pledged their 88% of their holdings. Currently the promoter just rolled a very nominal amount. High debtor days as well as the cost of borrowing is too high. So I'm not very much bullish on the RattanIndia Power itself for the longer term itself. And if they're talking about the fundamental books also, it's 2 weeks in the terms of revenue generations too. So in my case, this type of market is not very much favorable for the small cap or penny type of stocks. So just avoid these type of stock and just invested in the very strong fundamentals.
On that note, we'll go to our next caller, Sundarajan. He's joining us from Chennai. Good evening, Sundarajan. Please go ahead with your question.
Good evening, sir. My calling from Chennai actually. I have Sundaram Finance Holding Limited. So bought it 240 rupees average, and on the average 2,000 shares I am having.
Okay.
That is, it went up to 432, but come down again 309, 310 like that. So I lost a lot of money from that. So whether I can hold or I can sell, it will come down. We have to confirm.
Okay, okay. And so why did you invest in Sundaram Finance?
So this is a known basically Sundaram Finance is a strong company in South India, all over India, NDFC. So this is a group company, that is what I bought.
Understood. Girish, I'll take this question to you. You heard a viewer, he's invested in Sundaram Finance, and he's invested at an attractive price, but then the stock climbed up pretty much in August and is again shrinking on the charts. What is your perspective on this particular NBFC? Should he hold or should he sell?
Basically, we are a little bit bullish on the NBFCs, as we already saw that the heavy performance as well in the consumer expenditure side also, as well as the life housing finance companies too. But when we talk about the Sundaram Finance, I'm not very much bullish on the perspective of the net profit fall, as the net profit falls in the last 2 quarters itself, and not the management committee is not very much bullish in the terms of the further expansion as well as the Q2 and Q3 for the financial year 25 too. So my suggestion is to exit their positions from Sundaram Finance.
Okay, understood. We have our next caller called Sanjeev joining us from Mumbai. Good evening, Sanjeev. Please go ahead with your question.
Good evening. I just wanted to talk about D-Mart.
Okay.
I had 100 shares at IPO price of 199.
Okay.
Just wanted to know outlook because of this QSR. The share is coming down like anything. Just wanted to know.
Okay, understood. So why did you invest in D-Mart?
No, I invested in wide IP only, no?
Okay, understood. Okay. Aditya, let's come to you on this one. You heard our viewer, he's invested in Avenue Supermarts and is worried because the stock has been on a downward trend. What is your suggestion to Sanjeev?
So first of all, I would like to congratulate the viewer that his investments have grown multifold over the years. And if we talk about the recent analysis, if we talk about the recent trend, then since 2021, the stock hasn't grown a lot at all. And it was a known concern on the street that valuations are very, very stretched. In fact, D-Mart used to qualify as top 50 most overvalued companies in terms of PE ratio. So stock took some time for time correction. And now it's breaking down because FMCG basket itself, Nifty FMCG basket, is breaking down. So considering all this, if he has a short-term horizon of, let's say, 6 months to 1 year, then I think FMCG basket is breaking down. So good time to take chips off the table, take profit home. If he has a horizon of 5 years, 3 to 5 years, then D-Mart may still do well in the long run. So this is the outlook for the short term and the long term outlook.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much for that. And on that note, we have Kafi joining us all the way from Chennai. Good evening, Kafi. Please go ahead with your question.
I'm interested in JP Power, madam.
Okay, sir. And how much?
I bought 9,000 shares. Whether I can add or still I have to wait.
How many shares have you purchased of JP Power?
1,000 shares at the rate of 19.
Okay, okay. And so did you read anything about JP Power before investing?
Just the power sector is good, so I have invested.
Okay, okay. Girish, I'll come to you for Jayaprakash Power Ventures. Our viewer has invested in this particular counter at 19 rupees a piece. The current price is around 18.5. Do you suggest he should add more shares, hold or sell?
So for the JP Powers, my suggestion is a little bit neutral because as we talk about the company fundamentals, now the company profit as well as the sales growth. So they are just very much strongly into the 39, almost 40% CAGR there in the last 5 years itself. The companies are performing very, very strongly. But if we talk about the fundamental sides, then the company's promoters have their pledge shares are highly. 79.2% of their holdings are already in a pledge, as well as the equity propositions. The companies are not very much performing. So my perspective is to just put their positions with a very strong stop loss. That is a 13 rupees point 50. That is completely a fundamental stop loss for the time frame of 6 to 8 months itself. If they go below of the 13.80, then they need to just square off their positions, as well as the further upside propositions. We are more bullish on the level of 23 rupees. Once the 23 will be crossed, the fundamental terms, it will be more beneficial for me to just start their positions accumulating more.
The moment for clarity, is it a sell or a hold?
No, it's a hold right now because they already hold their positions.
Understood. Understood. Okay, on that note, we have Kiran joining us on the call all the way from Delhi. Good evening, Kiran. Please go ahead with your question.
Hi. Actually, frankly speaking, I have got a lot of appreciation for your channel because you're answering our queries very discreetly, and finally we're very much convinced. So I have bought Kernex Microsystems, 300 shares I got, and I bought only last week at 1383. And I got a short-term outlook.
Okay.
Can you please suggest me what should I do with this?
Okay. Firstly, thank you so much for complimenting us, Kiran. It means a lot to us. And my next question to you would be, why did you invest in Kernex Microsystems and why the interest last week suddenly?
Actually, I was looking for this share since about 1,000 rupees, but it was almost upper circuit on every day for last 3, 4, 5 sessions, I specifically invested just because that they are getting large coverage, for the railway safety and all those things. They possibly got an order of 2,000 crores and are likely to get more orders by the end of March.
Understood.
So I think that should hold a bright future for this company, but I have my funds only available till March 25.
Understood, sir. So I'll take this question to you, Aditya. You heard our viewer. He's invested 300 shares in Kernex. He's bought 300 shares of Kernex Microsystems at 1,383 a piece. And for a benefit of our viewers, this company is involved in the manufacturing and selling of safety systems and software services for railways. So pretty interesting space to be in. But the stock, as you can see, has shrunken about 2.95%, close to 3% intraday. Do you suggest it's a good stock to be invested in? And he's asking for a short-term perspective.
Right. So first of all, congratulations to our viewer. He's making good profit in the short term. If we analyze in the short term, then from October, the stock has given almost 100% return. And in last 5 to 10 days, the stock has almost gone from one upper circuit to another. So for this stock to maintain the momentum, it has to, again go up. Otherwise, it may fall down to fill the gaps. So in the short term, I think he must take profits home, as 1580 is a strong resistance for the count in the short term. And there's a lot of gaps on the charts below these levels. So the stock could take some time to, digest this stellar 100% gain, which it almost made in last few weeks and months. So I think it's good to take profits home. And one more thing, the stock has a tendency to give very good rally, which we saw in month of June to August, and then it corrected about 10 to 30% from there. Again, stock has given a very good rally. Now it could take some time, and it could, give some price correction or time correction. Hence, good time to take profits home.
So he should book profits and sell Kernex Microsystems. On that note, we will go to our next caller, Raghuveer, joining us from Bangalore. Good evening, Raghuveer. Please go ahead with your question.
मैडम मेरा पास 3000 शेयर है वोकहार्ट फार्मा का 350 रुपए में लिया हूँ 2 साल हो गया
ठीक है
अभी 1 साल रखता हूँ अभी क्या करना अभी 1435 रुपए में रेट है
Okay, understood, sir. Girish, we'll come to you for Wockhardt Pharma. The stock has given a bumper return of over 200% in the last 1 year. Our viewer wants to know a long-term perspective. He's invested 300 shares.
First of all, congratulations for the excellent profit what the investor earned into the Wockhardt Pharma. But as we saw in the fundamental terms, the sales growth was little bit lower. as well as we are more bullish on the pharmaceutical companies too. But if we're talking about the company promoter pledgings, then the pledgings are a little bit higher. So my proposition is to just book your profit from the current level and just enter into the another pharmaceutical company stock.
Understood. On that note, we will go to our next caller, PK Thapar, joining us from Ghaziabad. Good evening, PK. Please go ahead with your question.
Good evening, madam. I hold 200 share of Aptus Value Housing Finance, which I bought at 327 rupees.
Okay.
So I'm looking for short-term, long-term, and medium-term perspective.
Understood, sir. Aditya, let's go to you on Aptus Value Housing Finance. What is your perspective on this particular stock? How does it look on the charts?
Sure. So since listing, it has been consolidating in a wide range. It got listed in 2021 and it has made multiple attempts to cross its high at 400 odd levels, and it has failed for 3 times. And on the lower hand also, it made 2 attempts to break its low, which is placed at 230. So this stock is mainly range bound, a buy at lower levels and sell at higher levels. Currently it's trading at its medium range, which is 307. I think this reward is comparatively much favorable at 240, 220 odd levels. So right now I remain little bearish on this counter. And second, as I discussed in the previous part of the show, banking names, NBFC names are experiencing good selling at the higher levels, and Bank Nifty is breaking down. Hence, pressure could build up in this counter as well. So right now it remains sell on rise candidate.
Understood. So it's a sell on rise candidate, Aptus Value. On that note, thank you so much for joining us, Girish and Aditya, and answering all our questions. And viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. At this moment, we have lost time, but we will come back again tomorrow early in the morning and in the evening. So stay tuned to NDTV Profit for more news and updates.
We set you up for the day's trade. 30 calls before the markets open on NDTV Profit.